And then find your nice, easy seat. And start to settle the shoulders down. And start to breathe nice and deep, in and out through the nose. And we like to try and extend the exhales a little more than the inhale. So sometimes it's nice to maybe do a soft count in your mind for your inhale. And then as you exhale, maybe add one more to that. See if you can push out a little bit more air. And I read this great article. I'm not going to read it. It's a very long one. I'm just going to share a very short bit of information from it. It was basically about the healing power of proper breathing and how we inhale and exhale has a great effect on our health, and especially during times like these. And it was just basically a study, and he was involved in a study where they actually plugged up your nostril so you couldn't breathe in and out through your nose, especially while you were sleeping. Just a week to 10 day study, and it really affected your blood pressure, depression, anxiety, a lot of things, sleep apnea came from that, and it just was very interesting. Part of the statistics in there was breathing in and out through our nose allows us to absorb around 18% more oxygen. So it was very interesting little statistic there, and I think we all know that the power of our deep breath and how it can be a form of meditation. So just really we'll focus today on those inhales and exhales, and I will stop talking about that and let you come into a little bit of quiet. And we'll take a few more rounds. And another nice way to do this nostril breathing is as you count on your inhale, maybe hold for one count at the top and then force that air out. So press out a little more. You might not feel like you have anything left inside to exhale, but you probably do. And then just start to return to a more soft inhale and exhale. And relax your jaw and the area around your eyes and your forehead. And then we'll bring our hands together at heart center. And taking a moment to set an intention for your practice today. So anything that resonates with you, bring that to your heart, take a moment. And then on our next in-breath, we'll reach the palms straight up overhead, softly blinking open the eyes, and then separate the hands and turn to the right and just come into a nice gentle twist. And just pause here, add a little bit of pressure into that right hand so you can lengthen up through your spine. And then maybe turn the gaze back towards the right shoulder a little bit more. Inhale, arms back through center, and we'll drop them to the left. Bring that left hand close to the lower back there. Gently press into that hand. Turn the gaze back towards the left shoulder. Inhale, arms back through center. Bring the palms back together. We'll bring them back to our heart. And then we'll make our way around to our tabletop pose. So slowly make your way to that tabletop. And make sure your hips are right over the knees there. And then before we start moving, we're just going to do a little stretch for our hands and our wrists. So if it's accessible to you to turn the fingers in towards the body, and just pause there. And if this isn't working, just keep your hands face to the front of the mat. We're going to just do a couple different directions. If you like, you can do a little shift forward and back, just tiny movements. And then come to center and turn the fingers out to the edges of the mat. So just switching them out to the side. And the same here, you can stay still or just give a little shift forward and back, even side to side. And then turn the fingers back to face the top of the mat. And then flip the palms over and let the backs of the hands rest on the mat. So the fingers are still facing forward. And the same thing here, you could stay still or maybe do a tiny little shift forward and back. And then let's flip those palms back over. And just lift up the left hand and just do a little wrist circles in one direction. And then the other. And then we'll lift that right hand up and just do those little circles. And then place that hand down. So we're back in our tabletop. We're going to move into our thread the needle. We're going to flow through that, do a couple flows with our arms before we rest down on that cheek. So we're going to start with the right arm. We'll inhale the arm straight up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, reach that arm under the left, reaching over, not resting down yet. Inhale, right arm back up to the sky. Exhale, thread it under the left, really reach the fingers over. And then one more time, inhale the right arm up, thread it under the left, and then slowly rest down on that right cheek. And then you can leave your left hand down on the mat here. You can walk it out in front of you a little bit, or you can drape it behind your back. So take a position that feels best for the side. And take one more breath. And then bring that left hand to the mat if it's not there. And we'll press into the hand, inhale the right arm back up, and then place it down on the mat. And we'll set up to do that on the other side. So inhale the left arm up. Exhale, thread it under the right, really reach the left fingers over. Inhale back up, reach that arm high. Exhale, thread it under, extend the left fingers over. One more time, inhale back up. Exhale, thread that arm under, rest down on your left cheek, settle in. Find a spot for the right hand that works. And then slowly bring the right hand to the mat. If it's not there, we'll press into that hand. Inhale the left arm up, and then place it back down on the mat. And then get yourself set up in your tabletop, and we'll move through a few rounds of our cows and cats. So on your next in-breath, drop the belly down, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine, come into that cat. And then start to move back and forth between your cows and your cats. Just connecting with your breath and feeling free to add in any other movement that feels good in your cows and cats this morning. And take one more round. And then we'll come back to our tabletop pose and widen the knees slightly, sink the hips back, come into your child's pose and relax your arms. So you can relax them in front of you or wrap them around, grab the heels. You can even stack your hands and rest your forehead on that top. Take deep breath in, deep breath out. Allow your hips to sink back a little closer to the heels. And then start to walk the hands out towards the top edge of the mat. Fingers spread nice and wide. Our arms are active here. Shoulders slide down. And then tuck the toes under. Make your way to your first downward facing dog. And then take some time here to maybe pedal out those heels. Take some movement in the legs. Maybe gentle movements in the neck and head. And see what your body needs and just take some time moving around, stretching out. And then come to stillness in your down dog. Inhale nice and high on the toes. Press back through those heels to really reach the heels down towards the mat. Inhale nice and high on those toes. Press back through the heels. And this time we'll inhale high on the toes and slowly come forward into that high plank, high push-up. And we'll drop to our knees, untuck those toes, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale to your baby cobra. Exhale, lower down and make your way to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and out. And let's do that again. Inhale high on the toes. Slowly roll forward into that high plank. Lower the knees, untuck the toes, make your way all the way down to the mat. Inhale to that cobra. Exhale, lower. Press back to downward facing dog. And then look up in between the hands and slowly bring the feet to the top of the mat. And then when you get there, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. And separate those feet about hips-width apart. Grab opposite elbows and take your ragdoll pose, keeping the upper body and head nice and heavy. Keep a soft bend in the knees, and you can stay still or sway from side to side. And then release the elbows, fingertips to the mat. Soften the knees even more, and slowly roll yourself up to a mountain pose. Let the head, the arms hang nice and heavy. Just roll yourself up nice and slow. And then when you get there, heel toe those feet back a little closer together. Inhale the shoulders up towards the ears, then roll them down the back. And then reach the fingers down towards the mat. So nice and energized in the arms, palms to the front of the room. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale down into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to that high plank, high push-up, and then flow through your vinyasa. So knees up or down, cobra or up dog. We'll meet back in down dog. Take 2 breaths. Look up in between the hands, bring the feet back to the top of the mat. And when you get there, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Arms rise tall, mountain. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, right back up. Exhale, fold. Come back into that flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to that plank. Flow through your vinyasa. And we'll meet up in our downward facing dog. Let's inhale the right leg nice and high, bend the knee, open that hip. You can take ankle circles here or bend and straighten that knee. Square up the hip. Slowly bring that right foot to the top of the mat. Pausing in your low lunge. And then drop the left knee down, untuck the toes. Vinyasa, arms come high. And then lower the hands down to frame out the right foot. And we'll leave the left hand down. Inhale the right arm up, coming into our twists. You can stay right here with the back knee down or tuck the back toes under and come off that knee. One more breath. Lower the right hand down. Step the right foot back to meet the left, coming back into that plank. And then lower down halfway or all the way. Cobra or up dog. Meeting back in down dog. Nice deep breath in and out. Inhale the left leg high. Bend the knee, open that hip. Take some ankle circles or bend and straighten that leg. Square up the left hip. Slowly bring the left foot to the top of the mat. And then we'll drop to that right knee. Untuck the toes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale the hands back down. We'll leave our right hand down and inhale that left arm up. And an option to tuck the back toes under, coming off that knee. And then lower the left hand down. Step the left foot back to meet the right, coming back into that plank. And then we'll lower halfway or all the way. Cobra or up dog. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Looking up in between the hands, bringing those feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Arms rise, tall mountain. Exhale, mountain pose. Let's reach the arms right back up and take the right fingers around that left wrist and just get a little stretch in the side body. Lengthen the left arm up and then take a little hinge to the right. And then come back to center, switch the grip, lengthen the right arm up, take a little hinge to the left. And then come back through center, release the arms down, and heel toe those feet a little closer together. And we'll make our way into our chair pose. So hips sink back, arms reach high, relax the shoulders. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. Make sure you can see your toes. Exhale to mountain. Inhale to your chair, sink a little lower. Exhale to mountain. Inhale back to that chair, sink a little lower. Exhale, mountain. And then one more time, come back to that chair, sink a little lower, relax the shoulders, breathe. One more. Exhale to your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back and flow through. Inhale the right leg up. Let's bring that foot to the top of the mat, pause in your low lunge. Energize that back leg. Make your way up to your high crescent lunge. Hold here. Deep breath in and out. 2 more. Exhale the hands down to the mat. Press the right foot back to meet the left. Flowing through your vinyasa, or you can just rest in down dog. Remember, you don't have to flow through every time, so take what you need. You need a resting pose. You can take down dog, table, or even child's. And then reaching our left leg high. Let's bring that foot to the top of the mat. Take a pause in your low lunge. Set yourself up. And then rise up to your high crescent lunge on this side. Keep that back leg nice and extended and active. One more breath here. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Flowing through. And then meeting back in our down dog. Give the head a little shake up and down. A little nod back and forth. Look up in between the hands. Bring the feet back to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bring those feet a little closer together. Sink the hips down. Come back to your chair pose. And then bring the hands together at heart center. And we'll take a twist to the right. So left elbow to right thigh. You can even take both hands to that right thigh if that works better. Sink the hips down. Really press the right hand into the left and pull that right shoulder back a little more. Breathe. 2 more. Slowly unwind. Exhale to your fold. Step back with the left foot. Make your way back to your high crescent lunge. And then bring the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers or fists in the sacrum. And we'll take a heart opener here. Shoulders come back and down. Lift the chest. One more. And then release that bind. Arms come high. Lower the hands to frame out the right foot. Drop the left knee down and come into a tabletop. And then opening out to a kneeling side plank. So we're going to keep that left knee down. Extend the right leg out. We want our left wrist directly under the left shoulder. So we're going to move into a little flowing side twist here, kind of like our thread the needle we did in the beginning. So this is your first option, to do it with the knee down, or you can come to a full side plank and do it this way. So your choice. On our next inhale, we'll open that right arm out. Exhale, thread it under the left, reach it through. Inhale up. Exhale, thread. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, thread. Come back to your side plank or your kneeling side plank. Hold here. Slowly unwind. Press back to down dog. Inhale the right leg high. Bring that foot to the top of the mat. Drop down to the left knee again. Heel toe that right foot out and come into your lizard pose. So move that right foot up towards the corner, out towards the edge of the mat. You can stay up on your hands here or come down onto your forearms. If you'd like to add a bind here in your lizard pose, come up onto the hands first and bend that back knee and then reach around from the top of the left foot with the right hand. You can even take your strap around that foot. And let's take one more breath wherever we are. And then release the foot if you have it. We'll come off that back knee, step back to your high plank, and flow through your vinyasa. We'll meet back in down dog. Take a couple breaths here. Let's look up in between our hands and bring our feet back to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bring those feet back together as close as you can. Sink the hips down, come back to your chair pose. Hands at heart center. And we'll take our twist to the left. So right elbow to left thigh, or again, you can just place both hands on that left thigh. Sink the hips down, pull that left shoulder back. Keep that top hand pressing into the bottom, create a little more space there. Breathe deep. Two more breaths. Slowly unwind. Exhale to your fold. Step back with the right foot. Rise up to your high crescent lunge. We'll take the hands behind the back again, fists in sacrum or interlacing the fingers. Shoulders come back and down, chest lifts. Couple more breaths. Release that bind, arms come high. And then lower the hands down to the mat. We'll drop to that right knee and come into our tabletop. And then opening out to the left for our kneeling side plank. So right knee is down, left leg extends. So remembering our option, we're going to move into that twist. So the right knee can stay down, or you can come into your full side plank. Inhale, open that left arm out. Exhale, thread it under the right, really reach it through. Inhale, back up. Exhale, thread. Inhale, up. Exhale, thread. Come back to your side plank or your kneeling, hold here. Lower the left hand down, press back to down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Bring that foot to the top of the mat. Drop to the right knee. Heel toe that left foot out. Come into your lizard pose. So make sure that left foot's out towards the corner, up towards the edge there. You want to keep the ball, that foot active, pressing into the mat. And then you can lower down. You can also use your block or pillow or anything a little more, comfy and a little, not too hard to rest your forearms on. If you took the bind on the other side, come up onto the hands first and then bend the right knee, reach around with the left hand and grab that foot. If you have that foot, release that out. Let's come off the back knee, step back to your plank, and flow through your vinyasa. We'll meet back in down dog. Nice deep breath in and out. And then look up in between the hands, bring the feet back to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Separate your feet here. And either take your peace fingers around your big toes, or you can slide the palms under for gorilla pose. You can certainly come back to your ragdoll pose. You can also grab behind the heels or the ankles. So just come into a little deeper fold. Take one more breath. Slowly release out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Arms rise, tall mountain. Exhale to your mountain pose. And then bring those feet a little closer together. Let's start with our hands on our hips here. So I want to root down into this right foot, and we're going to bring the left knee up into the chest, flexing the foot. Take your right hand to the outside of that left knee, and then reach that left arm to the back of the room. See if you can turn your gaze back towards that left hand. It's totally fine if you need to tap down and come back up. Take one more breath. Keep that left leg lifted. Come back to center. Bring the hands to heart center. Very slowly start to press this left foot towards the back of the mat. We're coming back into that high crescent lunge. Once you get those toes down onto the mat, just shimmy that foot back. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to the right, left elbow to right thigh. Stay here. Pull that right shoulder back. Open the arms to deepen. Certainly, if you like to bind here, you can work on that. You can also just drop the top arm down behind the back and pull this right shoulder back a little more. Stay nice and strong in that back leg. 2 more breaths. So wherever you are, 2 more breaths. Slowly come back through center. Inhale the arms up and open out to your warrior 2. And get yourself set up. Nice deep bend in that front knee. Relax the shoulders down. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Try not to lose the bend in the front knee, so bend a little deeper. Exhale the side angle or extended side angle, and then reach that left arm over the left ear. Drop the left arm down behind the back, open out a little more. See if you can press your right arm into that right leg, just a tiny bit. Stay here or work on a bind. Release the bind if you have it. Let's all rise back to warrior 2. Take a deep breath in and out. One more in and out. Cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Press back to your 3-legged dog with the right leg nice and high. Bend the knee, open that hip. Take some ankle circles here. Bend and straighten that leg. If you'd like to flip your dog, you can flip your dog. And then if you did flip over, come back around. And let's flow through a vinyasa here. Inhale to that plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Cobra or up dog. Meeting back in our downward facing dog. Look up in between the hands. Bring those feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Arms rise tall, mountain. Exhale, mountain pose. Bring your hands to your hips. Root down into that left foot. Right knee comes into the chest. Flex the foot. Bring the left hand to the outside of that right knee. Reach the right arm to the back of the room. See if you can turn your gaze back towards the right hand. Really reach the right fingers far back. Lots of energy there. Keep that leg lifted. Right arm comes back through center. Bring the hands together at heart center. Find your balance. And then very slowly start to press this right foot back, coming back into that high lunge. And then get yourself situated once you get there. Nice wide stance. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist to the left. So right elbow to left thigh. Pull that left shoulder back. Palms can stay together, or you can open the arms to deepen. So wherever you took this on the other side. Just a few more breaths. Slowly unwind. Come back to center. And we'll open out to our warrior two. And then get yourself set up. Relax the shoulders. Arms are nice and energized, long and extended. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Bend a little deeper in that front knee. Exhale to your side angle or your extended side angle. Reach the right arm over your right ear. Rotate that chest a little more towards the ceiling. And then drop the top arm down behind the back. Staying here, working on your bind. So again, wherever you took this on the other side. Nice deep breath in and out. One more here. Make your way back to your warrior two. So release the bind if you have it. Hold here. Breathe. Stay strong. One more. Cartwheel those hands down. Press back to that three-legged dog. Left leg nice and high. Bend the knee. Open that hip. Release out that left leg. If you flipped your dog on the other side, flip it here. And then come back around if you flipped over. Let's flow through that vinyasa, inhaling to our plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Cobra, up dog. We'll meet back in down dog. Just take 2 deep breaths. Look up in between the hands. Bring the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bring the big toes back together. Rise back to that chair pose. Bring the hands to heart center. And then sink a little lower. And then a little lower. We're making our way all the way down onto the mat, onto our bottoms, coming into our boat pose. So if you need to release the hands to give yourself support, then do that, whatever works. Just get there however you can and have fun doing it. So come down onto your bottom. And when you get there, legs lift up. Release the arms, fingertips reach towards those toes. You can keep the legs bent or you can straighten them. Try not to sink back, so we're really reaching the chest towards the toes. Breathe. 2 more. Lower the feet down, hug the knees in. Release that out. Gently grab behind your thighs and roll down onto your back. Walk the feet in a little bit. Lift them up. Keep that nice 90-degree bend. Interlace the fingers behind the head. So very softly behind the head, behind the neck. And then we're gonna do some yogi bicycles here. When you're ready, left knee comes over to the right. So we're pulling that right elbow, right shoulder towards the left knee. Inhale, switch. Inhale, switch. switch. Take it slow. We're just going side to side at a nice, slow, even pace. Just a few more. And then come back to center, lower the head, the upper body down, keep the knees bent. Take a pause. And then lift up the head, neck, and shoulders again. And pull that left knee over towards the right elbow. Extend that right leg out and hold here. Breathe. Keep holding. I am counting. Couple more. Bring that right knee back to meet the left. Pull the right knee over towards that left shoulder. Extend the left leg out. Hold here. Breathe. A couple more. I know your microphones are off, but I can hear you. Couple more breaths. One more here. Bring that left knee back to meet the right. Lower the upper body down. Hug those knees in. Give a little rock from side to side. And then cross one ankle over the other. And rock yourself up to seated. So you can rock up, a couple times. Make your way to seated. And then we're going to come around to our tabletop. And just one more quick little thing before we come back up. Lower down onto the forearms. Smile. Extend the legs back, come into your forearm plank. Really press those forearms down into the mat. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth. And then slowly dip those heels over to the right. Come back to center. Let them fall to the left. Come back to center. Let them drop to the right. Back to center, dropping to the left. We just have one more time each side. We can do 3 of anything. Come back to center, drop to the right. Back to center, drop to the left. And then back to center, lower down. Stack the hands, rest your forehead on that top hand, and bring your feet wide off the mat. You can bend the knees and windshield wiper the legs if that feels good for your body. Just allow the breath to soften. And then very slowly start to make your way back up and find downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high. Bring that foot to the top of the mat and rise up to warrior one. So warrior one. Bring the palms together, heart center. So we're going to take a little twist in our warrior one. So before we bring that elbow down, we're just going to rotate over to the right. So our spine is staying long. And then start to lower that left elbow onto the right thigh. So really try and keep that back foot down. If you need to shorten stance a little bit, then do that. Press the top hand into the bottom. Stay here with your palms together and really put a lot of energy into that top hand pressing into the bottom, and then pull that right shoulder back. Couple more breaths. Slowly unwind. Let the hands come down to the mat and then walk around to the left side of the mat and set yourself up for a wide-legged fold. So maybe heel toe those feet a little wider. And then settle into your fold. We'll stay for about 5 breaths. So take any hand position that works for you. Certainly, if you want to go upside down and that's in your practice, feel free to take some time there. And just remember, if you're staying here in your fold, try not to let too much of the weight sink back into the heels. So shift forward a little bit. Let's take one more breath. So if you are upside down, start to make your way back down to the mat. And then we'll all bring our hands underneath our shoulders, coming into that flat back. And then bring your hands to your hips and rise back up to standing. And then keep the left foot where it is, turn the right toes to the top of the mat. And then we'll bend into that right knee, making our way to warrior two. Straighten the front leg, set up for triangle pose. So when you're ready, reach that right hand forward, left hip goes back, make your way into triangle. Inhale back up. Bring the hands to the hips. Let's step that back foot in a little. And we're going to set up for our revolve triangle or revolve pyramid. So if you use a block for that, you can bring it to your left hand or just leave it down in front of the mat. We'll reach the left arm up with or without the block. And then keeping that extension, reaching forward, making our way back down. So left hand or the left hand with the block comes to the inside of that right foot. And then we'll open out to the right side. Just a couple more breaths. One more. Lower the right hand down, remove the block if you have it. Step the left foot up to meet the right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then one more time. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back and flow through. We'll meet back in down dog. Left leg comes high. Bring that foot to the top of the mat. Rise up to warrior one. Hands will come together at heart center. Remember, we're going to keep our spine nice and long as we turn to the left side. And then bring that right elbow to the outside of that left thigh. We're keeping the palms together. So really press that left palm into the right. Pull the left shoulder back. Try and keep that back heel flat, that back foot on the mat. Couple more breaths. Slowly unwind, let the hands come down to the mat. And then walk around to the right side of the mat. Set yourself back up for that wide fold. So again, taking any arm variation here that you like. If you want to add a bind in, you can interlace those fingers, or maybe take a different hand position as you come back down into that fold. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. Shift the weight a little tiny bit more forward. Let's bring our hands underneath our shoulders. We'll all come into that flat back. Hands will come to the hips and we'll rise back up. We'll leave our right leg where it is. Turn the left toes to the top of the mat. And then find your warrior two. Nice deep bend in that front knee. Just here for a few more breaths. Straighten the front leg. Triangle pose. So reaching with that left hand, right hip goes back, lowering down. Couple more breaths. Inhale back up. Bring the hands to the hips, and we'll shorten that stance and set up for our revolve. So if you're using the block, you can grab it in your right hand. We'll reach that right arm up. Exhale, extend that arm out. Bring the hand or the block to the inside of the left foot, and we'll open out to the right side. One more breath. Lower the left hand down. Put the block aside if you're using it. Step the right foot up to meet the left. Exhale to your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise, tall mountain. Exhale to your mountain pose. So we're going to set up today to work on our side crow practice. So if you have that in your practice, awesome. There'll be a lot of different variations. If you do not want to do this on your hands, I'm going to give you a variation to do on your back. So take a drink if you need to before we move on. So hopefully you're pretty twisted up and ready to move on to this. So let's come to the top of our mat and let's come into our chair pose with our hands in heart center. And just like we lowered all the way down for our boat pose, we're going to come all the way down to start our crow practice, our side crow practice, but we're not going to come down onto our bottoms. So see if you can come up onto the balls of the feet and then lower your bottom down so it's resting near your heels. And then we're going to keep our spine long. So just like we did when we did our twist in our warrior one there, we're going to twist over to the right side and then release the hands down to the mat. And if you have a side crow in your practice, just go right there. You're totally fine. And then we can use those elbows as a shelf for this right hip and right below that right knee. And maybe you just want to practice putting weight into the hands. So you can just lean forward and back. You can use the elbows as a shelf. Eventually we don't use that back one. If you want to practice this on your back, come on down onto your back and bend your knees. And then just bring your elbows to the right side. So just like you would if you were on the feet. Just hold there for maybe, 5, 7, 10, however many breaths you'd like to. So that's your option. So take a little bit of time to play around with that. Remember to look out a little more in front of this side of the mat. So try not to look toward your body. Maybe you practice that rocking back and forth a little bit. Yeah, awesome. And if you're near a couch, you can even move closer and practice that rocking, and maybe you just rest on the side of your couch. So just try a couple more rounds. And then we're just going to make our way into a forward fold. And maybe grab opposite elbows for a moment here, or you can even take peach fingers around your big toes. And then let's all bring the fingertips to the mat, and we'll inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold. Arms rise, tall mountain. We'll exhale to our mountain pose, and let's come back to that chair pose, hands at heart center. We'll rise up onto the balls of the feet and sink down. And then keeping our spine long, we'll turn to the left and bring the hands down to the mat about shoulder width apart. So if you're on your back, you can just switch sides. And then practicing that same action on this side, maybe using the elbows as a shelf, or if you moved close to your couch, you can kind of just gently tap, back and forth off of that. So just practice a few rounds. A great job, everybody. Do what works today. Yeah. So we really, eventually the feet just float up. So we're, that's the biggest part. We don't want to force them up. And a lot of times when we do that, we just tumble right over. So when you've had enough, we're just going to come down to seated. Yeah. Awesome. And then let's interlace the hands here and just give a little wrist release. So maybe roll them around a little bit. And then release that out. Just extend the legs straight out in front here. Give their ankles a little wiggle. And then let's widen the legs and set ourselves up for a seated wide fold. Flex the feet. Inhale the arms up. Palms to the front of the room and just come into that fold. Keep your spine long. Once the hands hit the floor or your mat, maybe you can inch them out a tiny bit. So think of it as inhale to add a little lift, and then exhale, sink a little lower. So inhale, we rise. Exhale, we fall softly. And then walk the hands back up. Bend the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. And then turn your torso so it's over this left leg. We'll reach the arms up again, and then exhale over, reaching towards those left toes. So you can use a strap here or a towel or whatever you're using for a little extra arm length if you need that. And then walk those fingers back up. Bring the right hand behind you on the mat. Press into that hand. Hips come high. Reach that left arm to the back of the room. And then lower those hips down. We'll extend that right leg out. Bring the ball of that left foot, the sole of that left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Turn your torso towards that leg. Arms reach up. And then we'll fold over that right leg. And then walk those hands back up. Let's bring our left hand behind us, really close to the lower back there. Press into that hand, hips come high, reach that right arm back. And then lower down. Extend the left leg out. Spring the legs together, just give them a little shake. And then scoot yourself up towards the top of your mat and roll down onto your back. And then walk those heels in, close to your glutes, bring your arms by your side. Bridge pose. Inhale, press into those feet, the backs of the hands, the arms, and lift the hips up. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. If you have a block, you can certainly place it in between those thighs. Arms can stay down. You can grab the sides of your mat or interlace the fingers and roll those shoulders under. Lift a little bit higher. Exhale, lower down. We'll take a pause. So we're going to go up one more time. So you can do another bridge, or if you'd like to work on wheel, you can certainly work on your wheel. And if you're totally done, you can come into a more restorative bridge. You can even place your block under your lower back. and extend the legs straight or keep them bent. So decide where you'd like to go for this last one. And when you're ready, pressing into those feet, backs of the hands, the arms, lifting the hips nice and high. Again, take any arm variation. Maybe coming up onto those toes to lift a little higher. So whether you're in bridge or wheel, maybe coming up onto those toes. Take one more nice deep breath. And then lower down. Release the arms if they're underneath the body. Heel toe the feet together so the soles of the feet touch. Let the knees come out to the side. And then either rest your arms overhead, or you can allow them to rest on your belly, or one on your heart, one on your belly. And close your eyes. And then bring the knees back up. Arms by your side. Let's extend those legs straight up towards the ceiling. Coming into a restorative waterfall pose, or a restorative inversion today. You can even place the block under your lower back. Close your eyes. If you need to move around the ankles or the feet, you can do little circles or point and flex. And then bend those knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And if you have that block underneath, just gently press up and move it to the side. Excuse me. And then hug the knees into the chest. Give a little rock from side to side. And then come to center and release the arms like T or field goal arms. And allow the knees to drop to the right. Just turn the gaze softly to the left. Let's inhale the knees back to center. Drop them to the left, turn the gaze to the right. And then come back to center. Hug the knees in and find a happy baby pose. So maybe grabbing the outside edges of the feet or peace fingers around those big toes. You can stay still or gently roll from side to side. If you like, you can even extend one leg and come through center and then extend the other. Or feel free to extend both legs and just add a little rock side to side. And then slowly start to bring the soles of the feet in together. So let them rest together. Just wrap your arms around those feet. Give a little hug, like pull those knees in. Sorry, pull the feet in. And then release that out. Extend everything long on your mat. Reach the arms overhead and take a full body stretch. And then start to make your way into your Shavasana. Taking up as much space as you can on that mat or your surroundings. You know, adding any layers you might need or anything that makes your Shavasana more peaceful for you. And then relax the muscles of the face, the jaw. Let those shoulders sink down. And just start to breathe in and out through the nose. Start to gently move the head from side to side. Start to wiggle the fingers and then the toes. And roll around the wrists and the ankles. Bending elbows and knees. And then gently hugging the knees into the chest and rolling to your side and just taking a pause there for a moment. The physical practice of yoga is water for the soul, a short circuit physical practice. So we release energy and we gain it back with every inhale and exhale. It's one of my favorite little quotes from my book of many writings and quotes and such. So remember, you can always come back to that breath. And we can use it as a tool for so many things. You know, there's so much we can't control, but we can control our breath. When you're ready, make your way back to that nice, easy seat. And then bring the palms together at heart center. You can softly close the eyes or just a soft gaze down towards those fingertips. And we'll take one more breath together today. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Let's sigh it out. And we'll bow forward to seal in our practice. The light in me truly honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.
Namaste. Thanks, Dee.
Namaste, my